My ex-wife had an affair with my brother, the golden child of the family, and had his baby. Now, after always treating me poorly, my family is begging me for money since I became wealthy. Hey guys, I never thought I'd tell someone about this, but please, listen to me and grab your popcorn. The sound of my phone vibrating against the wooden table pulled me from my thoughts. I glanced at the screen. A message from my mother. My heart sank, but I opened it anyway. Can you come to the hospital? It's urgent. Urgent. The word felt like a punch in the gut. Just a year ago, I stood in my parents' living room, looking at my brother, Tom, holding my ex-wife, Sarah, too closely. They'd spent the night laughing, filling the air with the kind of intimacy that had once been mine with her. My stomach twisted as I recalled the moment I discovered their betrayal. The whispers I heard, the hints dropped by friends, and then the confirmation. Sarah had been unfaithful with Tom, the golden child of the family, and now she'd given birth to a baby girl, her skin as delicate as the petals of the blossoms outside the hospital. It was a surreal sight as I sat in the waiting room, surrounded by relatives who had once cast me aside. They had welcomed her with open arms, while I had been shunned, labeled the man who could not make his marriage work. The fluorescent lights flickered above me as I stepped into the ward, my palms clammy against the fabric of my jeans. My mother's face lit up when she saw me, but it quickly faded to a frown as she came closer. "Oh, honey." She pulled me into an embrace, her arms tight around me. I could smell her floral perfume, familiar yet suffocating. "Is Tom?" I asked, my voice breaking. Just saying his name felt like a betrayal of its own. "He's fine. He just want to get some coffee. But we really need you to talk to Sarah," she said, her eyes pleading with me. "Why would I do that?" My voice rose slightly, and a couple of nurses passing by glanced our way. "She left me for him. She made a mistake." My mother's frustration boiled over. She was confused, and now she's scared. The baby. The baby needs her father. Her father. The idea twisted something deep inside me. "You mean Tom is her father?" "Josh," my mother sighed, her voice dropping to a whisper. "You and I both know she's made some poor choices, but she still deserves kindness." "Kindness?" I couldn't help but let out a bitter laugh. "Kindness is what you sent my way when I was picking up the pieces of my life after the divorce. You chose her." "It's different now," my mother insisted. "Now there's a child involved." As if on cue, Tom entered the room, his face illuminated with a joy that made my skin crawl. He moved past me, giving a small nod as if I were some blur in his life. My stomach turned at the sight of him. My brother, a man who had grown up with every privilege, always seen as deserving of love and admiration. "Hey, Josh," he said, his tone almost casual. "You're here." I met his eyes, searching for a hint of remorse, but found none. Just a smug satisfaction mixed with fatherly pride. "How's she doing?" I asked, even though the answer was hardly relevant to me. "She's a great mom," he said, beaming. "You should see her and the little one together." To my horror, a warm feeling flickered in my chest at the thought. The child was innocent, a victim of her parents' misguided choices. But that was also my ex-wife's child, a symbol of her infidelity. The life they had built together, built on my shattered trust. Before I could respond, Sarah was wheeled in, a fragile figure wrapped in pale sheets, her expression a mix of exhaustion and tranquility. She looked up at me with wide, terrified eyes, begging for something I wasn't willing to give. "Josh," she began, her voice a soft whisper, barely audible over the beeping machines. But before she could continue, I turned away. "Why am I here, Mom? Why did you ask me to come?" The words escaped me with an edge of desperation. Everyone was huddled around Sarah, their faces glowing with excitement and affection. "Because we want you to help us," my mother said, her eyes pooling with tears. "The baby, she needs a family. A solid one." I clenched my jaws, trying to suppress the tumult of emotions swirling within me. "And I'm supposed to just step in because Tom and Sarah had their fun? What do you want me to say? Congratulations on ruining my life. Here's to your new family?" "No, please, Josh. You're still a part of this family. We've all made mistakes." My mother's voice cracked, and I saw the tears spilling down her cheeks. "We need your help. For her sake." I glanced at Sarah. She looked younger now, lost and uncertain, with strands of hair sticking to her forehead. I'd once loved her fiercely, and seeing her here, weakened and struggling, made the ache in my chest swell. But I refused to give in. "Help?" I scoffed. "You should be looking at Tom for that. He made his choice." As I turned to leave, Sarah's shaky voice stopped me in my tracks. "Josh, please." The sorrow in her tone pierced through me. I faced her, trying to mask my rage with indifference. "What?" "I'm sorry," she said, her eyes flooding with tears. "I didn't mean to hurt you. I've regretted it since it happened. I was lost and scared, and I didn't think." I felt a pang of empathy rise in me as the weight of those words landed. I wanted to yell, to reject her apology, but I could only nod, the conflict within me unabated. You've hurt a lot of people, including me. Then don't abandon us now, she pleaded. I need you to give this child a chance. She deserves to know family, to know you. I stood frozen between loving kindness and bitter resentment. The truth was, I had mourned the loss of my marriage and harbored a deep-seated pain that lingered long after she had walked away. But did that extend to this innocent life? A child born out of a painful chapter one had once closed. Taking a deep breath, I made my choice. All I can promise is to be there for her. I won't act like this is normal, but I can keep her safe. You need to figure out what you want first, though. The gratitude in Sarah's eyes was fleeting and bittersweet. Yet in that moment, it felt like a small step toward healing for all of us. It wasn't just about forgiveness. It was about the illusion of family. In a world turned askew, perhaps rebuilding meant learning to embrace the broken pieces, slowly crafting something new with them. For her, maybe I could try. It was not tomorrow's promise, but today's fragile step, and perhaps that was enough for now.